Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fulfillionaire's File, where we spotlight purpose driven leaders, entrepreneurs, and change makers who are creating impact from the inside out. I'm Victoria Ferrer, your personal power and public presence coach, and this space is dedicated to conversations that help you align your inner transformation with outward success. Because true fulfillment is not just about achievement, it's about alignment. And today's conversation is especially powerful because we're talking about something many entrepreneurs experience but rarely understand: emotional resistance that quietly blocks growth. And joining us today is Jennie Hayes. Jennie is a certified brain spotting practitioner, a longtime health coach, paramedic, and entrepreneur who brings a deeply somatic approach to transformation. And her work focuses on clearing emotional resistance at the root so entrepreneurs and coaches and other people can create deeper impact and faster client results. And what I love about Jennie's work is that she doesn't replace what professionals already do. She amplifies it, helping breakthroughs happen at a deeper neurological and emotional level. Jennie, welcome to Fulfillionaire's File.
Well, thank you so much, Victoria. We had such a wonderful conversation when we met, and I'm so looking forward to this. You are just brilliant,
Thank
and
you.
I am just so blessed to be able to visit with your audience today.
Thank you. It's my honor to, Jennie. And so, my first question is, what inspired you to start your insulin resistance business? And what challenges did you encounter when it came to marketing yourself?
Yeah, so I have been a paramedic for many years, been in the medical field, working for someone. And I had been teaching people how to be healthy, supposedly, and I found myself very unhealthy with insulin resistance. The way we found out is that I was infertile. We were trying to get pregnant, and I basically just didn't want to be the diabetic that I was treating, the
Yeah.
person that was following the doctor's orders. And I was actually literally working at a surgeon's office at that time, cutting people's toes and feet off because they were diabetics and not getting better. And so I was like, I've got to research. Because that's what I do. When I get stuck, I research because I know there's an answer out there. There's so many smart people out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that it's actually really easy to turn it around and to actually reverse insulin resistance, which is simple diet and lifestyle changes. And so I started doing it. And the people around me started noticing the difference. And they were like, wow, what's going on? So I started helping them. And then I ended up in a situation at a job I was working at where I was told that I was sharing too much with people and that I needed to shut up
Oh.
because it wasn't appropriate for me to tell people that they had options and that they
Mm.
could actually do the research themselves. I never actually told people what to do. I just said, this is really cool. Have you looked at this?
Mm-hmm.
So that is what moved me to move into coaching because it was like, I can see people are dying. People are
Yeah.
really sick, and I can't sit by and let this go unshared. Wonderful. Great. Launch in, 100% jump in. Let's do this. 3 years in, $267 is what I'd made because I wouldn't market myself. Because I
Yeah.
had that thing where it's like, okay, I took this course and I took this coaching program and I listened to this person and that person and I never actually did it. I
Oh.
never actually could get it done. And I kept telling myself, oh, it's just the wrong method. It's just the wrong way. It doesn't align with who I am. I just need to find the right way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember sitting at my desk one day, and my husband comes in the office and he says, I need help. You have to get a job. And I
Mm,
cried, I kicked, I screamed. I thought my dream was over. This is the end. And
mm,
I fell into a job with a company that I still adore.
mm-hmm,
And I still actually work part time for them, Zenny Me.
mm-hmm.
And they help therapists to grow and scale their practices. And so I started coaching them on their businesses. And I kept seeing the same thing that I was going through in these other people. They had the drive, they had the desire, they had the knowledge because I was giving it to them, and they couldn't do it. We had somebody join the team who did something called brain spotting.
Yeah.
And once we all learned how to do it, it was night and day. I was watching
Mm,
people who had been stuck for years. I do a session 2, 3 with them, and they were doing the thing. And of course, it took me another year and a half before I thought, gee, why don't I do this for myself?
mhm,
But then I did. And what I learned during my session was that I was in the wrong niche. I had actually begun self sabotaging, and because I was miserable doing the
mm,
insulin resistance coaching, there was a lot about it that didn't really align with who I was. And then all I really needed to do was figure out which strategy fit with who I was. I didn't have to do them all. And I love podcasting, I love speaking, I love
mhm.
people, right?
Right.
So I started doing that and I dove in head first. And in 4 months, I was profitable.
Wow, that's
So that's my
amazing.
backstory.
That's amazing. And what I'm hearing is that expertise alone isn't always enough. Visibility requires emotional readiness as much as
Yes.
strategy. That resonates with many entrepreneurs. And you mentioned feeling stuck despite having the knowledge and training.
Yeah.
What did that experience look like for you personally and professionally?
Yeah. So, like I said, I mean, obviously, it forced me into having to go back into corporate, which is something I dreaded doing because I think a lot of entrepreneurs identify with the fact that they just don't feel like they belong in corporate. There's something about them
Yeah.
that just doesn't fit. And so I didn't want to do that. And it created a lot of self doubt. Am I
Mhm.
good enough? Can I even be an entrepreneur? What's wrong with me? I'm actually literally helping people to create their businesses, and I can't create a business. Created
Right.
some fights at home because my husband would get really frustrated. We own a remodeling business, but in my mind, even though I'm
Mhm.
on the business and
Mhm.
I do a lot of work for him, um, in my mind, it's his business. And so I can
Yeah.
promote his business. That's
Yeah.
no big deal because
Mhm.
I'm not putting myself out there. And so he couldn't understand how I can market his business, but I couldn't get any sales and market mine.
Right.
And so it was a very heavy, and it started off light because in the beginning you think, well, I just don't know enough. But
Mhm.
then after you've spent 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, on one program, it's like that it's not that I don't know what I'm doing. I just don't know what I'm doing.
Right. Oh my God. And so even when the external qualifications were there internally, something wasn't fully aligned, and that's where many high achievers quietly struggle
Yeah,
as
I
much as
felt broken.
yeah, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers can resonate with that. I can resonate with that as well, you know. So many entrepreneurs struggle with invisible blocks like self-doubt, fear of visibility, or perfectionism.
Mm-hmm.
How did brain spotting help you uncover and clear those obstacles?
Well, the nice thing is with brain spotting, you don't have to know what to call that thing, and you don't have to know where it came from. Looking back now, almost 2 years later, I can see that I was dealing with imposter syndrome because I didn't feel like I was as good as the other people doing it. There was some fear of visibility, which seems a little crazy because I also led worship for 5 years and sing on stage and do all of that.
Mm. Wow.
And then there was a lot of perfectionism because there was a fear of losing my license. As a licensed paramedic, I was like, I was afraid I was going to say the wrong thing. But in the moment, I didn't have to know any of that. All I had to do was be willing. I always tell people, just be willing to play. Because what we do in brain spotting is we connect the brain and the body because the body knows what's going on. And the body really is what's stopping you. It's not your brain. It's that feeling in your gut. It's that feeling in your chest, the pain in your shoulders when you go to do it. And it's like, ugh, this doesn't feel good. I'm not going to do it. And so what it does is when we connect the brain and the body, we allow those things that are unprocessed that are keeping us stopped, that our body's protecting us from,
Mhm.
because it thinks what we're getting ready to do is actually going to harm us or kill us. And we're basically giving it a different job. We're saying, you know what? We don't have to do this way. And when it's not a very mental exercise, it's very much in just allowing the body to express itself and the brain to express itself in a very unique way. It's so hard to explain, but it is so powerful. I always talk about it's removing the landmines.
Yeah, because it shifts the conversation from trying harder to
Ugh,
healing deeper.
right. Yeah, I hate when people say, well, if you just tried harder. And I will tell you, there is a percentage of the population that can do that. Men generally, I'm using some stereotypes here. So, uh, generally, men are taught from a young age, I don't care if it sucks, push through it and do it. Women are not. We're taught, hey, you have an intuition. And when
Mhm.
your body says, this doesn't feel good, there's a reason and you need to pull back from it. Well, that's true, but sometimes the reason's not valid anymore.
Wow. And for people who are unfamiliar with brain spotting, can you explain what it is and why it can create breakthroughs faster than traditional mindset approaches?
Yeah. So when we experience something in the world, it comes in through our body and it comes up to our brain, and our brain has an option. It has a choice to either store it in long term memory, where it becomes as important as what shirt you wore last Thursday,
Oh.
or to hold on to it because it feels that there's something there that's dangerous or it's too much to process. So your brain is deciding whether or not to create the landmine in your functioning in your brain or get rid of this thought. Unfortunately, it stores these landmines, and we have learned to tiptoe around them, which is what
Mhm.
mindset work does.
Mhm.
Even traditional talk therapy, which I am not a therapist, I'll go on record
Mhm.
for that, but even traditional therapy teaches you to go around the landmine, which is also why you have to keep doing it. Because just like everything else, every other creature, every other thing in your body, path of least resistance is the way you want to go. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, the path of least resistance is right into that landmine. So no matter how much mindset work you do, if you don't keep it up, it's still going to be there. That
True.
landmine not going away.
True. Oh
With
my
brain
God.
spotting, yeah, with brain spotting, what we do is we rely on the fact that the body knows the truth
Mhm.
and can feel what's going on. And your eyes actually connect to where in the brain that landmine is stored. And then when we allow the body to process it, we actually scoop that landmine out. So now, path of least resistance no longer has a hiccup. There's no landmine there. And so there's no continued, oh my gosh, I have to do it again. It's been 6 months. It's
Mm.
time to freshen up. Or every day I have to say my affirmations. I have to
Yeah.
list all the things that are true versus the false. We just replace it. And it's like, oh, this was the lie. We're going to slide in the truth right here, and it's done.
Wow.
It's
So,
insane.
yeah. And so instead of only talking about change cognitively, brain spotting works directly with the brain and body connection. allowing transformation beyond conscious effort?
Yes. You don't have to. People are always like, well, is it a talking exercise? No, you don't have to talk to me during the whole thing. You don't have to know what's going on. All you have to do is be willing to sit with me, be real, and be willing to allow those feelings to happen in a safe place. And there's something magical that's just truly healing instead of fixing it. We don't want to put a band-aid on things. And the
Mm-hmm.
fact that it works so fast, in my program, the reason that I do so much brain spotting at the beginning is because I want to make sure that we hit the imposter syndrome. And then if we need to hit the fear of visibility, we hit that. And if we need to hit fear, money issues, we hit those. And we get all of those and just pound them out really quickly there in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, so that at the end, all we're doing is strategy to make sure that you know what pieces are next.
Oh,
And you can do them.
yeah, exactly. Well, I'm doing a session with you on brain spotting and I can't wait. So the audience, I'm going to be giving you an update on how it went because I'm so looking forward to
Yeah,
it,
it's
Jenny.
it's one of my favorite sessions. The whole time she was going, this is so weird, this is so weird.
Must be weird, something
And then,
unusual.
well, yeah, she found that when she was looking one direction, where her lie about who she was living in her brain, she would crinkle down like this and she couldn't breathe. And then she would go over to the truth and she would automatically open up and look up and be able to breathe. And that's why she kept going, this is so weird. And at the end, she found that she could breathe even in the lie spot because the lie wasn't true anymore.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. I want to pause here because this is important for our audience. Many people believe they lack discipline or motivation when in reality, their nervous system is protecting them from
Mhm.
unresolved emotional experiences.
100%.
Yeah, wow,
100%.
wow.
Um, we have been taught that discipline is the answer. Motivation is the answer. Well, let me tell you a little secret about motivation. Nobody's ever motivated until you're doing it. It's the basic law of physics. An object in motion stays in motion. We get motivated when we start seeing the results of the movement we had. If your body is saying, no, if you do that, it's going to hurt or kill us, you're not going to be able to get motivation to move forward. Discipline, discipline is a matter of fighting against who you are to try to do something to start creating a new identity. Great. We do that sometimes with diet, we do it with exercise, but it will not fight who you already are. So it's not going to fight that part of you that says, this is not safe,
Mhm.
right? And so if we can remove the not safe, then it becomes just, okay, yes, you need to be disciplined, but you need to be disciplined for 30 days. Like they always tell you, do something for 30 days and it's a habit.
Yeah.
Not if your nervous system's in the way, because your brain's like, oh, but you can't keep doing that. You're going to kill us. You can't keep doing that. And so, yeah, and I've seen amazing things with brain spotting on diet and exercise too. It's insane. I wish I had found it so many years ago.
And I wish we did this interview so many years ago too.
There
I
you
could have
go.
met you a long time back and we could have changed the community. And so you combine brain spotting with accountability coaching. Why is accountability such an important part of turning clarity into real results?
Because a lot of people who are actually willing to play identify as at least a little neurodivergent. Or just look at the world a little differently.
Ah.
Most entrepreneurs, I would say, based on the very large sample size that I've seen, um, is probably 70% neurodivergent. Now, that 30% even they need to touch in every once in a while and go, okay, am I on the right track? Am I doing what I need to do? And it's good to check in with somebody. Sometimes you've got somebody in your life that does that, but a lot of people don't. Or if you're on the neurospicy side, people don't understand what you need. So it's really
Yeah.
helpful to have somebody say, you know what, that is a shiny object. We need to come back around here and we need to get back to the strategies. We need to get to the strategies that work for you. Because if you're not the kind of person that likes to do podcasts, I don't want you calling up Victoria and saying, let me be on the podcast and
Yeah.
sucking at it. Her audience hates you and you feel miserable. But if you have a block that's keeping you from it and you really love doing things like that, then we clear the block and then we have the strategy and then we have the accountability because we need that extra layer to keep moving forward, one foot after the other.
So awareness opens the door, but consistent action walks someone through it.
100%. I always tell people, even if you only have an hour a week to work on your business, not in your business. So we're not talking about client time. I'm talking about the paperwork, the sales, the
Mm-hmm.
marketing. An hour a week will move you forward. And a little accountability tip that people can use today is I want you to create a name, a character for your business. I had one
Yeah.
client who hated marketing, and so he named his Mark Edding. And I want you to
Mm-hmm.
put it on your calendar, and I want you to make it look like it's one of your clients. And I want you to keep
Mm-hmm.
that date no matter what. If you have a low energy day, it's okay. Watch a YouTube video, do something you enjoy that is good for your business. And on those high energy days, you're going to knock stuff out and you're going to be able to let go of your business until the next time because you're not going to have your brain constantly thinking, okay, I've got to do this and this and this. And if I don't get this done, then I'm never going to have time to do this. I've got to squeeze this in. And it's going to bring a lot of peace to your life while you're figuring out the blocks and the motivation and the accountability and the discipline and all these other pieces.
Yeah. And it's a reminder, watch this video so that you could be reminded of what Jennie Hayes is advising us and well, contact her directly. I will
Yeah.
be giving a chance to Jennie to talk about her contact details later on. And so, Jennie, I can resonate with that because as a personal power and public presence coach, I often see that confidence grows through aligned action, not before it. And accountability creates safety for that
Right.
action. Yeah.
Right. When you have somebody else who's saying do it, it's kind of like when I was marketing for my husband's business.
Mhm.
If you don't have the ick, now you have the plan. And it's like, okay, I can do it because I have somebody counting on me to do it. I can't tell you how many people go, well, I knew we were meeting today, so
Yeah.
I did the thing. So
Oh, that would say, well, what would you say to small business owners or solopreneurs who feel stuck right now but don't understand why they can't move forward?
you're not alone. It is not your fault. You are not broken. There is something inside of you that is literally stopping you. And for some people, it can be as simple as knowing, okay, this is a block and I do need to push through it. But for a lot of people, you do need that extra layer. You need someone to come in and do something like brain spotting. There's other techniques available out there, and I'm not the only brain spotter in the world. But to have somebody come in and help you go to that deeper level and remove that block, then it just becomes about strategy and play and results. And that's why you got into business anyway. And it doesn't matter whether you're starting and can't get clients or you're doing well and you're like, but I really want to be up here and I can't figure out why I can't make the leap. We run into these things as we grow. I always say imposter syndrome is a sign that you're growing because you've run into a new landmine that needs to get uncovered.
I totally agree with that. And what stands out from today's conversation is this truth. Success is not only strategic, it's somatic. When we clear internal resistance, our voice becomes clearer, our presence stronger, and our impact deeper.
Right.
Jennie, where can people connect with you or learn more about your work?
So you're always welcome to my website, which is jenniehayes.com. Make sure it's an IE and the Hayes
Mhm.
doesn't have an E. You can contact me directly. And again, it's just Jennie at jenniehayes.com. I like to keep it easy. Again, neurospicy, right? And then I have a calculator for you. So if you're sitting at home or at work and you're thinking, what is this actually costing me? Because I've been stuck for so long. I
Mhm.
have a calculator that'll actually put it into numbers for you so that you'll understand what this is costing you financially and not
Mhm.
just emotionally.
Right.
And that's at jenniehayes.info slash Victoria. And she's got the link, so that'll be in the show notes.
Yeah,
And that's
definitely.
a brand new calculator that I made up just for you. So I hope you jump in and use it.
Yeah, to all our viewers, this is something really that we need to get into and to learn more because if we want to really change ourselves from within, Jennie is the best person to talk to.
Well, thank you.
Welcome. Thank you, Jennie, for sharing your wisdom and reminding us that transformation begins with the nervous system, not just the mindset. And to everyone watching or listening, if today's conversation resonated with you, remember your next level does not require becoming someone new. It requires releasing what no longer belongs to you.
100%.
Yeah, this is Victoria Ferrer, your personal power and public presence coach. And this has been Fulfillionaires File, where fulfillment meets purpose and presence creates impact. See you in our next conversation. And again, Jennie, thank you so much for this wonderful interview. It has enlightened me, and I can't wait to share it with the audience.
Thank you.
Thank you, and bye, everyone.